And hello, we are live. Hello. Well, live. We're live. Not for the ones who are watching us. How have you been, guys? Doing okay?
Good.
Oh, Yannick, do you want to tell that story now that Gabby's joined us? You want to tell that story again about what happened on
Um,
Saturday?
during the convention of facts, while I was running around as fun, I had a very kind person who was attending a shop there who was giving a hello and come over here sign. And was like, "Aren't you that one wizard from that session? You know, the wizard with mommy issues?" And there was a moment I was taking a break, like, "Yes, generic GM, yeah. We're in the jungle, yeah. Yeah, well, keep up the good work, guys. It's really nice." And I was like,
It's nice to be recognized.
Yeah, it's even funnier that, you know. So,
The part of the story I like the most is that apparently she recognized him through his laugh.
Oh,
indeed.
was it a was it a he or she? Well, actually, it doesn't really
She.
matter. Um, However, and I'm looking to you, random citizen. Thank you for watching.
Thank
We
you.
love you, and we want you to be the first comment. And if you happen to name the shop, we will give you a shout out right here. I'll put it. So
Anything, give us a
yes,
comment, please.
yes, give us a comment. That's all we ask, and
Don't be shy.
we'll give you a free sponsorship. I don't know.
What sponsorship?
Yeah, send us a message. Anyhow, on that note, that was. I don't know about the rest of you, but I find this terrifying.
Come on, that's awesome.
Yeah, it is. It is. It really is, but it's terrifying
You,
as well.
Yeah.
you guys are all awesome, so it's normal that,
Mm.
that a moment that we're gonna recognize for the awesome games we're doing. It's normal. Come on. Yes, yes, flatter, nefarious watermelon.
You do realize that I need to put in a nefarious watermelon in the next campaign, right? just for that joke.
No.
Oh, I've
It
got.
was you, after all, nefarious watermelon.
Yeah. Oh, that.
Well,
Yeah.
we've
That.
already had a nefarious watermelon. It was a gazer, remember?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we splattered it.
That is true.
You had a heavy hand in that.
Yeah, I think I sort of one-shotted it with a
It's
really
a.
strong
It's a
guiding
gazer.
bolt.
Yeah, it's a gazer. These things are. They're not. I mean, just look at poor Laryl. Hmm. Um. Anyhow, so coming back to on that note, the last session we had you had made the acquaintance of a certain Sir Breakbone of the Order of the Gauntlet and his advanced camp named Camp Vengeance after the destruction of Camp Righteous, and through a meeting and encounter that was a bit difficult for all parties involved, you decided to call the manager on him. Right. Um, but in the meantime, you had shown your worth to the commander, as in you were not. You had mentioned that you were on a quest that was much of a much higher importance than his, which probably, well, only stoked the fires of his disdain, and said, "Yes, well, I've heard that before." And you showed him that you might actually be up to the challenge that has been set to you. Um, then let's see. Um, Basically, we find ourselves the next morning after the attack of the undead on your camp. Oh well, on the camp. Um, oh, actually, no. I forget one thing, which is Sorsha. You were the witness to something that none other in the group has seen, which is Eku's true form. So, yeah, that is going to be something certainly to talk about. Actually, I'm going to wait. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to put this on pause. Be right back. And that did it. Okay. Sorry for that little technical difficulty. For us, it was about 15 minutes. For you, 30 seconds. Not even. Anyways, let's keep going. So, the question remains as you awaken. Let me move you to the right map. As you awaken to a Camp Vengeance that seems a bit more energetic, definitely much more energetic than when you arrived. It is as the horn blares for the changing of the shift from the night shift to the morning shift. You can already start seeing the benefits of your spells from the previous day. People in the tents have started coming out. There's a bit more breathing, and you actually get a bigger picture of the sheer amount of number of people that are in here. There's about 20 people, but that doesn't count the different patrols that are going around. And as you as you sort of stepping out into the morning heat, and you might not have noticed this while you were coming down the river, but there is a heaviness to yes. Actually, Eku should not be here. Thank you. Uh, um, there's a heaviness to the air, and it doesn't take long for the buzzing of insects to start up again. And as soon as the insects start to multiply in the air, you can see the lassitude on the different soldiers' faces that starts up again, saying, "Oh God, not again." By the way, over the night, I am going to ask all of you to make a Constitution saving throw, please. As
In
you
the magical protection dome tent.
well, you did fight outside at night, and the insects. So I am giving you advantage. However, unless you've been telling me that you've been applying yourselves the anti-bug um, ointment.
Do I
No,
not need to roll a save then?
No, actually, as
We didn't mention it,
Yeah.
but yeah.
we said that we used it on our whole journey.
No, because there was he had mentioned that we didn't need it in all parts of the jungle because, but I guess that's also why we have guides and that the guides would have recognized it and told us,
Yeah,
okay, time to
definitely.
ladder up, people.
Yeah.
So
So
your ruling is
in
how
this
it goes.
case, what I'm going to say is you've come to the edge of the Aldani Basin. The Aldani Basin is definitely a place where this protection is needed greatly.
Mhm.
You are on the edge, and most likely due to the swarming of either undead or the different animals, and the insect mass is sort of moved up north further than it would be normally. This camp here has sort of, in a way, attracted the ire of the jungle, including the bugs. So normally you would have gone maybe a day forward into up until the Aldani Basin before you'd have to lather up, but here the Aldani Basin ambience is present. Most likely due to the fact that the as you can see on the map, it's very much this is not a clean camp. right? And but you helped move the dirty water out. You purified it. You did a lot of work that last night, but there's this still present buzzing. As you come up, what is that's when you notice that Eku is missing.
I'll look around, not overly worried, but just asking, where's Ekugan?
I'll
Oh,
probably just say, don't worry about her, she's doing her thing.
Okay.
hmm.
And you see me looking around, probably not wanting to be heard.
Mm-hmm.
What are your morning activities? There's clearly in one of the tents. Well, no, actually, not in one of the tents. The cooking fire would have been one of the tents would have been the sort of the kitchen tent, but it has been turned into a field hospital. Um, so most of the cooking is done outside, which is probably doesn't help much for the general well-being of the soldiers here. And you can see that they are definitely low on supplies. The food and the water is rationed, though because of your help, you definitely hear murmurs around the crowd around the soldiers about having extra water rations and there being a bit more food as well. Um, you would recognize this Gale as being very much the divine mana, as in create food and water.
Yeah. Okay.
This is clerical invoked food, which again does not help with morale.
um, and is there enough of the invoke food and water or not?
So it's still very much rationed.
Yeah.
However, because Sister Sias knows that there are other healers within the group, within the
Mm-hmm.
inside the confines of the camp, she does realize that she can spend more energy towards feeding the troops than just keeping them alive.
Yeah. Okay.
You notice that Inete as well is helping out with regards to that.
Okay.
She looks. Um, there's a moment where she looks busy as she's helping Sister Sias out. However, there's a very much I did not sign up for this kind of,
Mm-hmm.
but not in the. She's not mad. It's more of the this was I wasn't expecting something like this. You know that probably that first the same reaction you'd have your first day at in Calcutta with the lepers at Calcutta and going, Jesus, I didn't know it was this bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
So what are you doing?
Um. Well, I didn't take create food and water, but I don't need it to create water, so I'm going to certainly refill any um, any
Yeah,
water
barrels or
containers
yeah containers. Yeah.
that I can retop, and um, probably going around camp and try to dry out the muddy areas. Uh, Eventually, and then help heal up the people who still need patching up if necessary.
Okay.
So try also making the camp as much as possible pest-free and
Yeah.
evacuate all the water that could attract insects and so on.
Well, the idea that it is currently raining, so it is
Oh
always
yeah, right. Okay.
it's raining, so
So
it's a bit
forget it.
difficult to.
Yeah,
But
forget it.
the idea is to try and keep the water out of the tents. Maybe work around
Yeah.
the. It'd be less your cleric of Tempest moving water around rather than your knowledge of mercenary camps to know. Okay, we need to re-dig this ditch
Yeah.
because with most of the efforts gone now that you're actually looking through the camp with again with morning sunlight, um, you notice that a lot of what the usual camp upkeep has been left aside, either for questions of morale or simply lack of hands, because half the camp is either sick or somewhere outside the walls.
Hmm.
Um, the Okay, so that's what you do. You're trying to
Yeah,
sanitize the camp.
I'm trying to, yeah, and I'll probably use a bit of mending on tents that are leaking and so on to try and make them
Okay.
efficient again.
Okay, that's gonna take So that's gonna take you what the full morning,
At
a
least
couple of.
until Eku is there. I'll
Okay.
stop if Eku comes back and see what
Okay.
what.
Heinrich, what are you up to?
I'm gonna put myself here,
Mm-hmm.
a bit far from other people. I'm gonna put a magical dome up for our two friends that are guarding the gate.
Okay.
They're a bit protected of the rain. And then I'm gonna wait for Daddy to give me a little call
Okay.
for Sir Douchebag to have some background information about him.
Um. Okay. I mean, you're gonna be trapped in this dome for a while, at least for now.
Not a
Well,
problem.
trapped with it. Well, trapped in a sense. With two guards. Is there anything that do you strike a conversation with them? Do you?
I think that the last of the wine that I have from Waterdeep,
Oh.
I'm gonna give I'm gonna give like a polite, like take a sip
Okay.
to warm your hearts a bit.
Um,
And
make me, um, yeah, I would say make me a persuasion. And I definitely give you the advantage with regards to the. Okay. So that is a 20. Yeah, the two these are not the same guards that brought you in. Um, you notice that one of them is he was most likely in one of the sick tents. You can see he's still very pale. He's got sort of rashes about the neck and hands. Um, and that would be consistent with multiple insect bites and so forth. Um, and yeah, the two of them start chatting along with you. Um,
the
during
dude
the
that
day,
looks pale, the dude that looks
yeah.
pale, I'm literally gonna be like, go downstairs, please, and rest, or report yourself to a nurse and get a checkup.
No, my friend. No, no, no. That is not how it works here. If if any of the lieutenants come back and I am not at my post, I will end up outside the walls. No, no. Besides, you have brought comfort that I cannot find in a hospital tent right now. And he passes
Cheers.
by. His other friend says, "Hey, hey." This one seems to be Athkathlian. So sort of more of a European complexion. Um, and sort of as he grabs the wine, takes a swig, and he says, "Oh, Well, that is a taste of home. Well, almost. Hmm. Baldurin grapes, no?
No. Good old Waterdavian wine.
Ah. Well, you certainly could got. I must be losing my touch. And as he passes it along, and he starts telling you that actually he was a son that his family owned a vineyard near Athkatla actually, but unfortunately due to um, bad weather, um, ironically, very bad rains, the vineyard died basically, and so um, he enlisted with the um, with the come on the Order of the Gauntlet, mostly to get out of the wet and the cold, and to just here laughingly trade in to the hot and the wet. Um, and you can see that with his friend and with the one across. This has been a story that's been going on, and there's general good spirits with going about. They don't necessarily seem very perturbed, especially towards this entrance of the camp as it's giving along the river. And according to what they've said, they've never had any issues with regards to that. Nothing coming from the river crossing the river. And so, in general, they do play around when they can hear if they hear Socias or some of the sergeants that are in the camp. You'll see them sort of stand a bit more to guard, but um, usually they realize that they're taking it easy with the foreigner right here, with the outsider here. Um, well, let's see. Is there anything in the conversation? Do you want to learn anything? If it's an opportunity.
I want to know more about Breakbone.
Mm-hmm.
What they think about him. I want to know the general morale
Okay.
of the encampment. Those two things would be interesting.
Oh, interesting. Um, when you touch on the subject, there's very much a dichotomy between the two. The Ethkathlian, so Silas. Um, Silas is very much in a mood of Breakbone is a hero. He is righteous. He would follow him to the gates of hell. There's very much you sense there's a cult of personality with regards to Breakbones, which Silas is still very much attached to. But the way he talks about it, it's not just words. He has seen Breakbones do amazing things. Um, Mati, however, so the other one, he got recruited out of Port Nyanzaru. He is one of the lower caste, which means it was the only way for him to get out of the city and get other work than just mopping dinosaur dung from the streets. And he considers Breakbones as almost a genocidal maniac, where he will quite frankly put on the guy's shoulders every single death that has happened in the last 2 months, including what happened at Camp Righteous. And there's a moment where that cheer that you had sort of set in, you can see that the sort of a tension. And just by these two representatives, you kind of start getting a vibe of maybe a sort of civil war going on within the camp between the ones that the Omnian that have followed this war hero into the jungle and who basically latch on to his image because they have nothing else. It's if we follow Breakbones, we will survive. And the others, which are a mixture of either guides or porters or locals from Port Nyanzaru, who are very much on the same side. If we stay here, we will die, but are too scared to go up the river. Or maybe the brave ones already have.
Okay. Nothing
That
from Thunderstaff family? No messages?
we'll get to that later.
Okay.
Come on, give it. There's time difference, okay?
True that. True
Is
that.
there?
Crap.
Is there though?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But anyways, no, you'll get. Don't worry. I'm working on your message. I've worked on your message.
Yes.
Vroondomon, what about you?
Yes. So I am going to start my day with doing a round of the camp and doing a
Detect poison and
detect
disease.
poison and disease.
Yeah. Okay.
And just finding all the bad stuff.
Well, I mean, yeah. The so what is it? You can also identify the kind of poison, poison creature, or disease in each case. Okay, you have a multiple. I mean, most of the diseases is set in. Was it presence within 30 feet? As soon as you
Yeah,
walk
and,
around,
and it's concentration up to 10,
10
minutes, so
minutes,
I
yeah.
can walk around the entire camp and
Yeah. So there's definitely a large ping coming from the north of the camp where they're putting the fires, and you can actually see a team as well, sort of piling up the undead, or in several areas around the camp. And there is definite disease vectors coming in from there, but that's not surprising. Not surprising either is the fact that the two hospital tents are, well, filled with diseased people. Um, you can you do hmm, you do I'll add in for flavor. You that does help you sort of recognize which are the water pools that are infested with the larva of these insects. And you can get, you can help Gale
well,
around with purifying that. And
there's another thing that I wanted
there
to
we go.
cast.
Okay. Yeah. Um,
Nice.
so how much do you go into this with regards to spell power?
So definitely those two. Like I'll try to get the as much food and drink together, and together with Gale, we'll try to purify anything that's not pure.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll say this: there's not a lot of food left to purify.
That is fine.
Because
That means
they
that
don't
we
have.
have
No,
more
it's
castings of purified food and water.
yes, but it does mean that it also means that you can see that their rations are fairly low.
Yeah.
During as you're if you're a bit curious about this and ask pretty much anyone, there is the Lost Patrol was actually a patrol that had gone out hunting to try and gather supplies within the jungle. They had taken most of their guides and most of their sort of rapidly fast moving soldiers. So most of the scouts and the guides, which means that a lot of the well, and they haven't come back for about a week.
Right.
Now so yes, a lot of the food is pretty much invoked.
Hmm. I mean, I can't create food and water, so
No,
that'll.
But helping with the water does mean that you also have clean water for the bandages, which means you can actually clean the bandages. And I think that does anybody have thaumaturgy? Not
No.
thaumaturgy. Prestidigitation.
Prestidigitation, yeah.
I didn't take it because I choose mending instead.
Yep.
But maybe your bard has it.
No.
Nope.
Nope. I make bonfires.
Okay, fair enough. Um. So, does Inete have it?
Probably.
Let's see. No, she has guidance and sacred flame. So, Nobody here can actually sort of clean stuff.
Well, not magically, at least.
Not magically, no. But the idea that sorry, um, yeah, not even Eku has it. Come on, people. Come on, Wizard of the Coast. Make some useful cantrips on your NPCs. God damn it. And no, Salida does not have that. Of course not.
Oh, she doesn't seem the type.
Huh?
She doesn't seem the type.
No, not really. No.
Does she have magic?
Not that you've seen.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't forget that I detected something
Yes.
that she has.
Yes.
That she had on her, and I passed that information to.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
Sorsha and
There
Arun.
is potentially a magical object on her person, but you have not delved into that mystery yet. But anyways, yes, the fact that you can provide clean water means clean bandages for the first time in a long while.
Yep.
Most of the so you let's
I
see.
think I'd like Sorsha to help with the bandages,
Okay.
and you see that she's going to the tents, and she's kind of preparing or managing an empty area with new beds, empty beds,
Mhm.
or at least empty space,
Mhm.
so new people might come in.
Right. Okay. Yeah, most of the beds are thanks to the day sort of yeah yesterday's efforts. There are a few empty beds which finally can be um, uh, sort of cleaned up and made better. Um, Rune,
Mhm.
you would notice that there's most of the most Mazel tov. Um, most of the sickness is definitely linked to the insects.
Yeah.
It's called the shivering sickness, which
Mhm.
is so the symptoms include blurred vision, disorientation, sudden drop in body temperature. I mean, it's a very bad flu. I'm looking at you, COVID. Um, Shivering, chattering of the teeth, and it's a wasting sickness, which means
Yeah.
that it's definitely one of these things that will draw out the strength and the life from you, a little by little. There's a few cases of mad monkey fever. Those you notice they've been tied down,
Yeah.
as in these, and these are a bit more rare, at least in the camp, but this is sort of half supernatural. It's less insects or you know there there are rumors that there are mists, these wandering sort of clouds of mist that just give off this um, uh, basically spurts of madness between among the people who breathe it in. So it's more of an unnatural, it's more of a magical sickness, but it
Right.
is healed just the same by your efforts.
Right. Well, that's another thing I'm going to do. I'm going to again
Yeah.
Yeah.
spend 6 times
Okay.
5
Okay.
points of my lay on hands
Holy
to
shit.
heal another 6 people.
Okay.
I mean,
And
I
if
mean,
they also have if they need actual like healing, then I can also add a prayer of healing to heal them up like the
Jesus.
full. Well,
Okay.
probably full. 17 points for 6 of them.
Fair enough.
I mean, I
Jesus.
can do 3 times lesser restoration, which ends a disease.
Yep.
So yeah, if there are still people really sick of it, I can
I also have
absolutely,
one more lesser restoration, so
yeah. Just tell us if we need to spend them all or if.
Um.
That's
Well, that's
for
gonna
you
be up to you.
guys.
That's really up to you guys. Um. Sorsha, can you please make me a perception check?
Yes. Let me see. Perception.
Oh,
Yes.
nice. Okay.
Nice.
So while the others are either within the tents or handling, playing hooky with the guards, um, you're the one, as you mentioned, you had taken up to preparing, sort of maybe either cleaning with helping Inete sort of clean, or um, but you can actually hear from the other side of the tent, the central tent, where Niles breakbone is. You hear a conversation, but you only hear one voice.
Okay.
So it's a conversation that seems to happen in spurts, as in he and throughout the conversation, you start to realize you've had messages from Heinrich before, so you kind of start listening to the pattern with that bard's ear, and you really recognize, okay, 25 words, 25 words, 25 words. And you understand that a lot of it is in code. You understand that it might be one word for a different meaning, for a sort of larger meaning, the same way you would battle code in a sense. But you get enough from make me an intelligence.
Yeah. And I'd like to do something.
Okay, go ahead.
At the moment, I hear that it might be something important. I use detect thoughts, so I have both sides.
Oh, okay,
Dick.
Nice.
okay.
Nice, 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 nice.
So that means you slip it off, or
I
do you use
Yeah, I see it.
okay.
I,
You can still use it with a spell slot.
I'm gonna use it with a spell slot
Okay.
then, because I'm
Right.
not in friendly territory.
Okay, fair enough. Um,
So
the
intelligence.
okay, right. So I'm not going to do the whole battle code. It's unnecessary. Um, but what I can definitely give you the meaning. He is being there's something. His surface thoughts are a series of um almost social stratagems, which is he's trying to understand. So he's receiving these orders from someone which you do not identify, but you can hear in his mind because you're listening in. Um, the and you can hear him in the back of his mind, trying to figure out what the message means behind it. As in, they say, if something was he's trying to guess what's behind the politeness or what's behind the orders, what the motivation might be. And you find him, there's very much a feeling of, if I leave now, I've failed.
But since I'm in his mind, I should have access to the translation, right?
Yeah. So
Because he understands it,
yes. So the
even if
idea
I don't.
is he is being ordered to retreat, basically.
Okay.
And there are two things. There's a feeling of failure, as in he could not, he f- he's no, he doesn't feel like he's failed. He feels like his superiors think he has. And there's definitely a feeling of betrayal from the higher ups that said they do not understand the situation. I can't leave. I can't leave. I can't leave. I have sacrificed too much. I cannot, it's that whole thing where he's kind of sort of echoing the same kind of feelings that you felt the previous night, which was he's hanging on to this because it's the last shred of maybe dignity or to his oath that he made. But
And
here,
what's his really reply?
but there's a definite thing where, um, and then there's a in the last bit of communication, there is right out outrage. And this time, there's a and you can hear this time it's not in code. He answers back and he says, "It is not as if I had much circur or resources to give them. I requested reinforcements. You will bleed me dry. Again." And then the last bit of message, this time in clear, again. So the voice is coming from a woman, fairly authoritative voice, comes in and says, "Once again, we had nothing to. The yellow banner was not part of the orders." Yeah, the company of the yellow banner was not part of the order. You should have recognized that.
Okay. Do I know what the company of the yellow banner was?
You can make me, yeah, make me a history check.
Okay. History.
24, nice.
Nice one.
The you know nothing about them. You've never heard of them.
Selida hooked up with one of them during the story that we were talking. Selida
True.
said that she hooked up with a man with a mustache who was like, "I'm fabulous.
Yeah.
Come with me for glory."
Yes, true.
No.
I'd forgotten I told you that. Yes. So yes, the Yellow Banner is an company of mercenaries, probably. But clearly they passed through here and something happened.
Okay. All right.
At that point, wherever you might be, the commander sort of steps out. There's something about the way he is, where you realize he hasn't had much sleep, despite being at a more restful night. And pretty much goes about sort of inspecting the camp. Let's see. As you've been, so Vroon, Sorsha, Gale, as you're looking, as you're working about the different, he comes in, makes his inspections. There's a he doesn't necessarily acknowledge the two, and actually he doesn't really acknowledge any of the group per se, but you see that he acknowledges the different guards and the different soldiers under his command, everybody equally, which is, he'll have a nod, you'll see some of them salute, you'll see other ones, everybody sort of salutes some haphazard way. And you kind of start noticing the same dichotomy that I mentioned to Heinrich, which is some of them will sort of stand straight, sort of try and be presentable for him despite being covered in mud. Others will almost flauntly sort of spit behind his back. There's very much that whole thing, but he seems to be attentive to the state of the camp and appreciative of the fact that it's being mended and you know. But there's also something else, as he seems to be sort of calculating, sort of looking about, sort of noting stock of who is awake, who's not, who's still sick, and so forth.
Vroon by now has cured 12 people, so.
Yeah, but
And Gale also took care of some, I think. So, like, we took
yeah,
we brought a big chunk of people back up. on
you've
their feet.
ended the madness you ended the sickness for a lot of people, but that does not mean that most of these people are 4 to 5 levels of exhaustion.
Mhm.
So they're gonna need most of them are gonna need a week to recover, despite having if they don't fall sick again to the flies. So it's something along the lines of you've put the band-aid, you've stopped the bleeding, but that doesn't mean that they're going to be running anytime soon on that wounded leg.
No, they fucking need to cross the river
Hey.
and set camp on the other side so that they would be a little bit more.
As he sort of finishes the tour of the camp, he comes back up to where Sister Sias is probably washing her hands, probably right next to you, Sorsha. And he sort of acknowledges you in the same way he acknowledged the others, which is pretty much a nod of the head. But there's a bit of bitterness to the way he's looking at you. You probably have an idea why. And Sister Sias, I require within the hour the state of I require an assessment of the state of travel of anyone in the camp. We have our new orders. We are to relocate to Port Nyanzaru and help with the efforts to fortify the city there. I trust that you will not fail me in this endeavor. Has there been any news of the 2 patrols that we have put out? Sister Sai sort of shakes her head. Said, there has been no news from either. What was it? There's been no news from neither Salhand nor Firebrand. Well, sound the horn as soon as they are in sight. They should be coming back, hopefully. And in the meantime, well, have the men start packing their tents and their things. We'll be leaving as soon as possible. Saya says, but we still have some that are incapable of walking. Well, we have canoes, don't we? We'll just have to ferry the infirm up the river. We'll just have to walk across the banks. Double time if we need to. Good. And with that, pretty much sort of actually turns to you Sorsha, and says, I would require you and your companions in the tent as soon as they can.
Okay.
And
I'll pass the word.
Sort of heads back in. How long do you want to make him wait?
Just the time to grab Saya's attention to somewhere a bit on the sides.
Sias has let a string of curses, which Gale would probably blush.
Wait, I think I missed a part there. Sorry.
You would
What?
blush.
No, you would probably blush hearing the string of curses that Sister Sias has just mumbled under her breath.
Oh no, I won't. I mean, I've been mercenary for most of my life.
Yeah,
I've
that's what I
had
mean.
worse, you know.
Yeah, well, anyways. It was something to do with the god Cyric and a goat. Uh,
Okay, so now that said,
I think when Sorsha comes to collect Vroon, he will definitely go like, "Oh, now we are allowed in his tent all together, are we?" But he's not going to make that comment to Breakbones. It's
okay.
like, ooh.
So, by the way, Heinrich, before I
Yes.
forget, you do get a message. So the message, um, so Niles, Breakbone, Sibbald, third born of Athkatla nobility, exemplary career on at the field, um, hero at the defense of Eshperta against the incursion of the Axebiter tribe. He gave away name and title to join the order. Fanatic in his own right, should be receiving orders. I didn't count that, but let's say that was 25. And that message is definitely from your father.
I mean, we're going to go back and watch the video and count it.
I don't think it's 25. So
No, it's not 25. But anyways, your father's a battle mage. He can make it work.
Thank you for information. We'll see what happened. We'll continue our mission. Stay safe. I miss you. Say hi to mom. 25.
Okay.
Then
I-
if Sorsha gets me, if Sorsha is gonna get me, I'll hop off and especially in a bit of a good mood, like a little smile, like okay.
well, before that, I was trying to get a word with Saya,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, go ahead.
and I'm sorry to ask that, but what happened with the yellow banner?
She turns to you, sort of, don't say that. How
It
did
was
you
low voice.
no is it but yeah, but she sort of grabs you by the shoulder, sort of turns you towards the tent. Don't how do you know that? Why did you hear that?
I just know.
Well, if he doesn't seem to be he's never in a good mood, but if you want to make it worse, mention the yellow banner. They came by down the river about a month ago. Something about uh, came in parading, showed documents that they were hired by, or they were members of the order sent in with special orders, something to do with this, with grandiose mission in the south. Um, they had requisition papers, and they not only took two of our best scouts, they also took food, supplies. The commander gave willingly and generosity because he was expecting convoys to come in. The promises made by the merchant princes to, but we never got those supplies, and so every single thing that they took from us was gone. We never got them back, including medical supplies, um, the smoke and the and um, for to protection for protection from the insects. And well, from what I understand, they pretty much said that they were doing the same thing as you did, which is a grand curse somewhere south city, something lost city, something.
Okay. So, gained by the jungle madness, he tried to do the same thing they did to him,
No,
to your
no,
camp, to us, basically.
no. We found out later that that the papers, the requisition papers, had been forgeries.
Oh,
That what they had stolen from us had been just that, theft. They had never been part of the order. And when the commander sort of, well, had orders from the, he mentioned them, and well, that pretty much broke him. He's used to people he can trust, and well, you came in waving the same arguments, the same story. Well, he wasn't to get caught twice, I guess.
yes, except we didn't ask for everything we gave, but I get it.
No, I understand, but that was the same thing. They had a cleric with them. They had, um, I mean, their leader was. It was almost he knew how to manipulate Breakbone. It was uncanny. Uh, It
What do you mean?
I don't know. He had this aura about him.
No,
I've seen Breakbone do speeches before big battles, and it was that kind of thing. Very much um, a bravado. I mean, for all I knew, they were very much alike. But he was a con artist. I don't know what happened to them. We haven't heard from them since. But it's
did they go south?
through the Aldani. They were headed south through the Aldani Basin. I don't know much more than that.
Okay. Well, let's just put this like on this con artist and jungle fever. It will be better when you come back to a city and rest and heal. I
When
hope
you're
so.
when you're in a city, losing something is not too hard. But here, in the middle of this hellhole, anything that was taken away, we would not get back. Anyhow, um, I think you're expected, and I need to make sure
Right, right.
my men can move. Um,
I'll get
please
the other
don't.
one.
Please, if Breakbone doesn't say it, at least have my word for it. We are grateful for your help, more than we could ever show. And while I don't think there's any way we would be able to repay you, either goods or resources, know that every one of these men who make it back to Port Nyanzaro will have you to thank for their lives.
I can't speak for everyone, but just know that everything that was given was freely given. So it's quite all right.
She sort of chuckles and she says, "You see, that generosity, that's the first thing to go. I'm happy you haven't lost it yet. And if you do plan on going forward, make sure you don't lose it. Because after that, everything goes."
I'll remember it, but I hope it won't come to that. I don't know what's ahead, so hope is pretty much what we have.
Yeah, well, Lysander keep you. And she turns
Anyway.
to and basically taking stock. One of the acolytes sort of comes running up to her, and they start working about basically taking stock and seeing what should be left behind, what should be taken, and so forth.
And probably, normally I would probably go away and search for the other, but I'll hurry.
Okay, could
and
you?
search
Sorry,
for the other.
you've gone all robot-y on me. Could you just repeat that?
Sorry. I'll hurry and search for the other.
Okay, you hurry and get the others. Okay, yeah, okay, got it. So yes, the other three you are quickly sort of gathered up by Sorsha. Heinrich, you've just received the message, and you head inside, I'm guessing. Okay.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. As you enter into the tent, you notice that he's busy pretty much sort of rolling up maps into large sort of leather binders or leather cases, and he says, "Well, come in."
I'll step in with the others, I suppose.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Vroon, are you wearing your armor?
Yes.
Okay. So
Always ready.
this glittering behemoth walks in. Vroon, I mean, you've been leaving potholes behind you whenever you would walk around the camp. You
In the
realize
mud,
that?
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I am. Let's see. Description. I weigh 308 pounds now.
Jeez.
Oof.
Okay. So, yeah.
Inventory. That's
Yeah, I'm getting straight.
166 in inventory.
Yeah, so about 200 kilos. Anyhow, as you enter, by the way, can you guys hear me okay? Because I'm getting a
Yes.
lot of. Okay, because I just got Rune. You just went robotic as well, so
Okay.
I'm thinking maybe. Anyways, let's see how long this lasts.
Yeah.
As you enter into the tent, as I mentioned, he's pretty much sort of cleaning up. But as you walk in, he says, "Well, I have been told from someone in Waterdeep that I owe you apologies, sanctuary, and any help that I can provide."
We don't request any help.
Rune does not reply to that. That's just like, cause it's like, yeah, you could. In his head, he's going, you could have given this to us without having it's like fucking orders from upstairs, fucking asshole. But like, he's not saying that. He's just going like,
Remind me,
Mhm.
did Heinrich mention to anyone that he had called?
I don't think so.
No.
Mm.
So you have no idea what he's talking about. You have no context for the message.
No.
But he's definitely looking to the four of you, trying to see who went above his head, who called the manager, basically. There's a moment where he probably yeah, I mean, there are 3
What is his
spellcasters
insight?
and a paladin, so
I mean, at some point, Gale is probably guessing, but she's not letting anything show.
okay. Is anybody looking towards Heinrich or going? Or are you looking among yourselves and then realizing everybody's looking at Heinrich?
No, I'm
No,
looking
no,
at
no.
the dudes
Okay.
going like
Yeah.
there's definitely a now you're apologizing because someone told you to.
Oh,
Mm.
by the way, he has not apologized.
No,
He said he
Yeah.
owes you an
No, he said
apology.
I have been told that I should apologize
Yes.
too.
that's not an apology.
That's not an
That's why,
apology.
that's why Gale didn't say anything.
Mm.
Yeah. That's an apology you see on Twitter. I'm sorry that you feel offended by what I said. He continues and says, I can certainly appreciate what you have done for my men and for the safety of this camp last night. Now, while I have received orders to move this camp back down the river, I will be needing most of the supplies, at least with regards to food, water, and other expedition to be moved up for my men to move among the into the jungle. However, I am oath-bound to give you help, and as such, this is what I propose. And he pulls out one of the maps that he had not put into the, and he basically sort of spreads out over the table a map of the surrounding area,
Ooh.
including a what seems to be a not as complete, but at least sort of sketches or general information about the Aldani Basin,
Yeah.
including places where and in the general area, he has also mentioned spots where he would call them sort of he indicates on the map um, sort of undead hotspots,
Oh, okay.
as well as the territory of several large predators.
Okay.
That's always interesting.
Yeah.
The conversation is short. He does as he pretty much sort of, if you hurry maybe to take notes
Yeah.
or such, but it's very much a situation of he is giving you this information, but he is not going to repeat it, and he's definitely
Mhm.
not going to be there as saying, "Oh yes, well now you can."
Quick
He's
question on
yes,
my part. Um, as I recall, but you have to confirm if it was just the map or if it was indeed that way. There were still usable boats left at Camp Righteous,
yes.
right?
There are
Okay.
4
There's
canoes.
4.
Yeah. And they were in usable shape.
Yes,
Yeah. Okay.
but you can definitely you can most likely guess that those are going to be used for the sick to go back up.
Yep.
Yeah, but they're at Camp Righteous, not here at Camp Vengeance. So
Oh no, the ones at Cap Righteous were those had been sabotaged by the goblins.
okay.
Yeah, you actually, if I remember correctly, they actually sabotaged yours and you had to mend them.
I don't
No?
remember that.
I don't
No?
remember that either.
Whoops.
No.
Then that's something that I forgot to do. But then again, when you have a cleric with mending, I mean, what's
Yeah,
the point?
Yeah.
fixed.
I think they were too excited about attacking us first.
Yeah, technically they should have. Yeah, they would have
Ah.
poked your boats first. But
Would have,
anyway,
should have, could have.
yep. No, so no. Unfortunately, the boats that are Cap Righteous were unusable.
Okay. I still am going to mention that because
Okay.
they're going through Camp Righteous back, and I'll say we were there. Careful, those boats are sabotaged, and there is an aggressive camp of goblin, a camp of aggressive goblins.
Sure.
Goblins.
You now.
Actually, he would. Yes. Actually, he knows about it.
Oh, okay. Well,
As in, that that there is a wandering village of Bitari goblins in sort of northwest of where Camp Righteous used to be. Unfortunately, this camp had the bad habit of literally moving around, which means that it was very difficult for them to spot, and they could never get. They would regularly have sort of either raids or ambushes and stuff like that. Mostly to steal, but not really to. It'd be. Oops.
Hello.
that's interesting because we lost you, but I didn't
Okay.
lose anything. Okay.
Right.
Your computer is a bit shy,
Yeah.
maybe.
So it's my fault. I
Your
guess.
computer. Oh, maybe you make him blush.
Did you catch everything, or
Up until wait, what was the last thing you were saying?
He
camp-
knows about the
the
moving
goblins.
camp
Okay,
of
Yeah.
goblins.
basically, when he mentions that they're cowards, you realize he's talking about they do guerrilla warfare, and he does shield line. So whenever he would get the defenses up, he'd move towards the goblins. The goblins would just scatter within the trees and no one would they wouldn't range up and come to him.
Yeah.
By the way, Heinrich, just so you know, Ishperda is a city situated not too far from Athkathla, and which about 30 years ago was attacked by the X-Biter tribe, which it's basically a horde of orcs, and so
Okay.
it's one of those battles that has been basically been taught along the Sword Coast, and apparently this commander was part of it. It was considered being one of the heroes of the day. But yes, very much. There's a scorn when he mentions the
goblins.
the goblins, and I'm actually going to put the name on the map. Let's see, can I? No worries. Okay, so what is you're about midday at this point. What is your plan for the rest of the day?
We still have no news from Echo.
Eku has not returned.
Okay. Well, we are.
You want? Okay, she's giving a sign.
Oh,
But let's go to Sorsha.
Okay,
Okay.
Sorsha.
Okay, we're coming.
Like bending over. Like, what?
So, by the way, yes, is there anything you need to before you get to that? Is there anything left to be discussed with the commander, or?
No, we'll just copy the details from his map onto
Okay.
ours. And
Yeah.
Before everyone, everyone is going. Well, Sorsha is doing the.
Yep.
Come here, come here, come here, come here. While everyone is going out, I'll wait, and I'll just give a polite nod. I'll shove the wineskin on the table, and I'm saying, "You're doing a great job, but now there are other things that are more important, like, for example, keeping your men alive. So please be safe." And I'll give like Heinrich trying to do a salute, but failing very miserably, and then
Make me a persuasion roll at disadvantage. And if I could give you super disadvantage, I would.
uh,
Oh, I'll give you my inspiration on that. Okay, so it's not
that would still make it a normal roll, which is still a 7.
Yeah.
that's okay. I'll take the 7. I find it really nice, but we keep the inspiration for more important things. Hey, I'm just saying you're doing a great job, but don't push yourself, dude. Like, I think everyone saw that he was very sleepy,
Yeah,
didn't sleep
and
well.
he's very much. It's very much the. It's very much of the whole thing was saying, who's this city kid to tell me anything? There's definitely a moment where this is the old veteran looking at this rich kid coming up and saying, "Hey, dude, take it easy. You have no idea what you're going into."
What
There
is
is
his answer?
there is
Please
no
give
answer.
me an answer.
There is no answer except a clear look of scorn and just it's really the term in French is mépris,
contempt.
contempt. Yes, pure and utter contempt. You have lost any respect. While by doing that, you did sort of identify yourself as being the one who contacted the superiors. Um, and there's definitely a contempt as in any respect that he had you as a person. He respects your skill. He knows that you are, but you know, it's along the lines of he knows you have no humility. He knows that he will never be, you will never understand him.
While you're giving that scorn, I will give a polite bow and enter stage and exit stage.
I told you you were on your way to being a bard.
Oh hell no! Oh hell no!
Well, you're doing a good job at it.
Yes, exiting stage right, and
And doing vicious mockeries.
yes.
But still, fuck that guy. So yeah, I'll come out of the tent with still a bigger smile than before and follow the group.
Okay. Uh,
What is it, Sorsha?
I'll look around, making sure that there's no one in that can hear us, basically.
What's the big secret?
It's about Echo. I know where she went. Well, where exactly, I don't know, but I know what what she was doing. She left last night um, looking for the lost patrols.
Oh, odd, but how how did she get out of the camp unnoticed?
Well, the same way I did following her, with discreetly. Oh, and also with fucking wings.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, she's literally a winged snake.
I think we already discovered that because Vroon, you had you had a knowledge check.
Well, I had a mental image, but
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
No, but you did tell us, I think.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't imagine that literally, but it is pretty literal. A winged serpent.
Right.
Lady Luck is with you then also at the same time, because seeing something in his true form should be a true blessing upon you. I understood well the information that everyone shared.
Well, we could use blessing, so
But should we wait for her here then?
yeah, I think.
I think we'd better.
You want me to message her?
Oh,
Yes, to know where she is, where she's at it could be nice.
If she's in trouble, because, I mean, I know
Maybe?
she can handle herself, but you never know.
I have not seen her handle herself yet, but I assume, considering her nature, that she probably can.
Sorsha,
Yeah,
you didn't tell us about the yellow flag, right? The yellow banner, right?
not yet.
Okay, just to
How
make
much
sure I'm
information?
not.
Yeah,
How many?
first, first thing first.
Yeah.
Do you want me to call her or now?
Yes.
I suppose.
Yeah,
I think
and
we.
then
Yeah.
I'll
Beep,
make you guys catch up with the rest of the info.
beep, boop, beep, boop. Echo, Heinrich here. Where are you? We miss you very much. I hope you come back soon. Miss you, Heinrich, and the awesome.
Also, tell her
Bye.
about the fact that the camp is
Leaving.
abandoning their station and they're leaving, and we will also be leaving.
I'll send a second message,
In
fellas.
fewer words.
Uh,
You didn't have 25 yet.
um, I I will say that in a very low. I arranged that the encampment can go away. New orders has arrived. We're gonna leave also. That Camp Vengeance is retreating to Port Neonzaru. Kisses and love, Heinrich.
Was this 25 words?
23, 24-ish.
Hmm.
Like very close to.
Okay. The answer comes back, and saying, "I have found what's his name again? Where are you? Oh, great! He doesn't really have a. I have found Ord Firebrand and his men. You may tell the commander that we will be there after nightfall."
23. Well done.
Well, good night, good news, guys. She found one of the groups, and it's after nightfall that she's gonna be back.
Oh, great. Another night here. All right.
Apparently.
Do you want me to send not a message spell, but like a little cantrip spell to the direction of the tent? Like, hey, we found your buddy.
Let's just tell that to Saya, maybe, if
Yes.
and when she'll report to him, she'll
But if we are staying here longer, what did she say? Nightfall?
Nightfall.
After nightfall.
When did the
After
commander say he wanted to evacuate camp?
He has not given a
Immediately.
moment yet, but
Okay.
but he's no. You've heard him ask Sister Sias to basically start making inventory and working the logistics of breaking up the camp. But there's been no.
Okay.
I mean, you would
Maybe-
know enough to say that this is something that.
It's not going to happen immediately.
No, it'll take a couple of hours to break camp.
Okay.
Even if they decide to, to leave most of the stuff behind.
And they'll probably not leave before tomorrow. Would they be able to and decide to leave before tomorrow morning?
Traveling
or-
at night seems like a really
Yeah,
bad idea in
yeah.
this place.
Yeah.
Apparently,
thought.
there's zombies around at night.
Who would have guessed?
So maybe ask Saya to give orders to leave camp, but to leave the empty beds alone.
No, it would simply be just they're gonna be there by nightfall. I mean,
Yes.
they're not going to leave camp before tomorrow morning, and we have a perfectly good excuse. If we can offer them one more full night's rest, that's that much soldiers who will be a bit more up. So I suggest we stay until tomorrow morning and we leave first thing in the morning. So we have a full day of traveling, and we leave them in better state than they are right now.
By the way, I will count this within the. But can you please count 4 doses of
Yes.
the insect repellent,
Absolutely.
as it's going to be for Selita. Clearly, apparently doesn't need it, but Inete does.
Okay.
Rub.
Yeah. So you're
Vroom, can you
saying
get my back, please? Vroom,
yeah.
Like you feel the trunk going across your back.
Done.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, also in a elephant's trunk. I just learned about that. It's phenomenal. It's more than in the human body. In a trunk. Wow.
I mean, there's a lot of things.
Muscles.
Yeah, there's,
Yeah, muscle.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
well, that's what you do with the trunk. You keep things in it. So anyhow, on that note,
yeah. However, if we stay another night, we will have to fight off undead another night.
Yes, we do.
we've lost Heinrich.
Yeah.
No, I'm still there. I'm still
Oh.
there. Just my camp.
Okay.
Okay.
So continue.
Okay. So you decide to stay for the night.
Yes.
Okay.
We're not gonna leave without Eku and yeah.
No, you
Yeah.
could have. You have another guide.
Yes.
We could
But
have.
It would be
okay.
rude.
it would be very rude.
I'd grant it.
I particularly like her,
And
but that's no
Eku is
reason.
the one who had something to ask and who had contacts a bit further up the.
That is true.
I think during some quiet moments, Vroon is definitely going to approach Gale.
Okay. Well, you know what? Let's save that for part 2. We're coming up on
Alright.
an hour and a half here. Let's take
time.
a 10-15 minute break. For those watching at home, well, it'll be in a couple of days, but don't worry, it'll come back quick. Okay, see you then.